What's up, everyone? I hope you're all having a fantastic day. We have some pretty interesting things to cover in today's video. To get us started, we have some breaking news from Natural Med. Huge XRP news. Earlier, I posted a video about a guy who revealed that Wells Fargo has been training on a Swift replacement. Now, I got an online service agreement update from WF, that's Wells Fargo, talking about real-time payments by Clearinghouse, a Ripple partner. Strap in. He even shares an image with proof about everything right here, guys. And this is part of the reason why I don't understand how people still don't see what's happening right in front of our eyes. Guys, want to remind you, don't forget to join in our giveaway. You can check all the details out. They're listed in the comment section below. The giveaway comes up on April 1st. Now we'll get into all the juicy details about that and more. But before that, let's roll that intro. As always, welcome back to Moneyside, your favorite crypto news channel. If you're new here, welcome to the XRP Army. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss out on our daily crypto news updates. As we proceed, we can see the Bill Pay Real-Time Payments RTP service only with participating billers, payees. The provisions in this section only apply to the Bill Pay Real-Time Payments service, the RTP service, which uses the RTP network operated by a third party, the Clearinghouse. If available for your participating biller or payee, the RTP service lets you send a payment from your eligible account, that is an eligible Wells Fargo checking account, to a participating payee in response to the payee's request for payment, the RFP. The following provisions supplement your application eligible account agreement. If there is any conflict between these provisions and your eligible account agreement, these provisions will control with respect to the RTP service. You can access the FTP service in Wells Fargo Bill Pay only in the Wells Fargo mobile app. When you send a payment using the RTP service, you authorize us to deduct the amount of the payment from your account immediately, and the funds will typically be made available to the payer within seconds, 24 hours a day, including weekends and holidays. After it is sent, a real-time payment cannot be canceled or amended. You can request that a payee return funds to you, but the payee is not required to return the funds, even if you entered an incorrect amount, sent a payment to the wrong place, or did not receive goods or services from the payee as expected. You are responsible for the accuracy of all information you enter to send a payment. If you want to request that a payee return funds that you sent through the RFP service, please notify us by calling Wells Fargo Office Customer Service at 800-956-4442. Our sole obligation is to transmit the request to the payee's financial institution through the RTP service. Now, this is where things are going to get interesting. According to a report from Business Wire, the financial technology leader FIS has joined forces with the Clearinghouse for setting up a system of quick and real-time payments in the United States for banks and financial institutions. Through this payment system, all of the small and medium-sized banks, financial institutions, and their customers would be able to access more convenient and faster payment solutions. Through this newly introduced service, financial institutions and small to mid-sized banks in the U.S. can now connect to the RTP network, a payment system offered by the Clearinghouse in the United States that ensures real-time or quick payments. We have another tweet here from Crypto Airy that talks about a stablecoin like JP Morgan coin tied to USD, USDC, or Fed-issued coin has a role but not a perfect solution because 1 has counterparty risk, 2 is not a geopolitical neutral asset, 3 exposure to inflation. You're still going to need a liquidity token, HXRP, between them. What makes this even more interesting is that it's from David Schwartz himself. As we start to wind down, we have a tweet from James K. Filan, and it says, XRP Community, SEC Gov v. Ripple, XRP, SEC files letter claiming Judge Torres's ruling on the motions to dismiss makes SEC internal documents, including the Hinman emails and the Estabrook notes, irrelevant, and that the SEC should not have to disclose them. At this point, I can't help but wonder at what point exactly does Judge Torres put her foot down and do something about the huge amount of disrespect the SEC keeps showing her. It's quite interesting to see the desperate moves the SEC are pulling right now, using the judge's ruling as leverage. But you know what? They cite Solomon, but they leave out the part where he says it highly probative that we get discovery into the SEC's thinking, because as a key market participant, the SEC's views go into the objective analysis. Further, we have Stefan Huber, who shares his opinions regarding the SEC case by saying the SEC versus Ripple lawsuit will be over on the day the Supreme Court denies the SEC's appeal of its ruling to release the Hinman emails. Tragic, but probably true. Clearly, the SEC is no longer concerned with the securities status of XRP, but with covering its tracks. The minute the SEC has been exposed for the corruption that has been taking place here now, they are putting all the efforts towards covering their tracks. And we get more evidence from John Deaton. More evidence that this motion is the biggest one in the case. Like I said, what is the likelihood that one person in a 63 email chain in 2018, while XRP and Ethereum were battling for the number 2 spot, replied, "What about XRP?" Now, I'd like to point out something XRP Crypto Quebec shared. Didn't Jay Clayton, Billy Hinman use their computers and produce 63 emails for Hinman's speech to manipulate the markets and misuse their position as insiders, which is equivalent to a Section 5 misconduct? Hello, SEC Ethics Committee, where are you? It's absolutely insane how the SEC appears to be getting away with all this corruption. Oh, time now to take a look at the charts. First, XRP in the weekly time frame is pointing us upwards. First, a massive symmetrical triangle has been forming for almost a year, breaking out of which usually means a continuation of the pre-existing trend. In this case, upwards, as this was a trend before we entered the wedge. Second, there's a hidden bullish divergence with price action making higher lows and oscillator, the RSI, lower lows, also a sign of bullish continuation. If we follow the textbooks, a bullish continuation is on the cards. But what the weekly time frame also teaches us is that patience is the key. These patterns play out in weeks rather than hours. Turning now to Bitcoin, it continues trading within a range and is now aiming back up at the $45,500 plus resistance level. This is the best possible scenario for the smaller capitalized altcoins. The longer Bitcoin stays within this range, $34,000 to $45,500, the more the altcoins can grow. Money that flows now into Bitcoin will flow back into the altcoins once more. As these altcoins are very small, just a little capital can push prices strong to the upside. If you've been waiting patiently, you will be rewarded for your patience and trust. As always, do your own research. Always trade safely, guys, and our continued prayers for the people of Ukraine. Please keep in mind we're not a licensed financial advisor. All videos on this channel are intended for entertainment purposes only. Tell us what you think in the comment section below and let's have a conversation. As always, we thank you for watching. Don't forget to like this video and please click on that subscribe button below. Turn on notifications. That way you get informed whenever we post a new video. Thanks again, and we will see you on the next Money Side.